Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jay Sean again for How To Reviews, and today I wanted to talk to you about an Andycine monitor, a new one I'm actually kind of excited about. And if you may think that a monitor is a monitor, let me explain to you a little quickly about how this differs from the other ones that I currently have, just by a few different features. So this is the touchscreen monitor. It comes with the Andycine case. They started providing these. I'm actually using that one, so I can't show it to you at the moment. But this is the traditional one that I was using that's very similar to a small HD style, only because it has the bracket that allows you to flip it if you want to see yourself, kind of like I'm doing right now. So besides the quality and the price point, which is very good, the one thing that I wish was better that I said about all these monitors that I always reviewed and is the build quality. Now, for the price, I think the build quality is just fine, and there's nothing really wrong with it per se. For the price point, it's kind of what you would expect. Nothing's wrong with that. The problem I have is that when you see these quarter 20 points on the sides, or this side where this is at, if you were to mount this and you turn it really hard in certain circumstances, or if you mount it directly on here, what happens is this is a plastic frame. Now, even though this looks to be like brass or something, it's embedded in what seems to be a plastic frame. And you feel like you're actually going to potentially damage it based on flexing this and stuff like that. It just doesn't feel that secure. Now, if you leave it on this bracket and this bracket alone, I think it's just fine, and it's fine for what it is, and it's great for the price point still. But for anybody who needs a more robust unit, somebody who basically needs a more professionally built unit, I think this is pretty much the answer for you. This one right here, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't actually read all the details, but it is definitely boasting a bigger screen at 7 inches. And this is supposed to be a lot brighter than the other monitors, ultra bright, and it's a rugged aluminum housing. And it's basically saying that you can view this outdoors. Now, this one is HDMI only, so it's the X7 model. They have an X7S, which is HDMI and SDI. So this is pretty much the box. Typical paperwork that you will get from any Andycine monitor. And I've had mine for quite a while, and they've all lasted. I have a total of 3, and they've worked very well for me. So let me move this stuff out the way. It's a pretty cool looking case. I'm glad they started including these, because the larger one that I showed you, I had to purchase it on my own, because originally, or those didn't, not originally, but those didn't actually come with any case. Let me open this up. And as usual, it comes with pretty much everything that you would need. One thing is cool is it comes with a D-tap cable right here. So if you're somebody that uses like a Sony, I forgot what it's called now, I can't think for some reason, but Anton Bauer or the larger Sony broadcast style batteries, this could work to power the monitor. I don't know why I can't think of what it's called right now. A HDMI cable to, I think this is the micro, this is the one that you would use like on a Sony camera. Has a power adapter. Sorry about the noise. It of course has a flap. Unflap it and it's in here. So one thing that's really cool about this right away when I first looked at it is definitely the build quality. You notice it immediately. So reviewing a monitor like this, by me showing you how bright it is and powering it on, it is definitely a brighter monitor, something that you could use outdoors on a more professional use, in my opinion. The frame is metal or aluminum of some sort. It's basically a sturdy build, and they boast on here Andycine Ultra Bright. It feels nice. It feels good. This feels quality. It has your quarter 20 mount here. It has one on this side as well, and none on top, but it has one on the bottom. What's cool about this is that it still takes the larger Sony batteries, which I really like. If you're familiar with Andycine monitors, the display, not the display, but the actual buttons here are pretty much the same setup for pretty much all of them that I've had experience with, which makes it really easy to convert to using it from another version of their monitor. Now here they always have a USB for upgrade. To this day, I'm not really sure how this one works, but usually that's for the manufacturer only. They haven't allowed customers or consumers to be able to upgrade it manually, unfortunately. That will be a nice thing to eventually happen, but as of right now, it doesn't work that way. HDMI, you have in and HDMI out, and even all these connections feel very solid and robust. You have a headphone port right here, and right here, these two, this is a DC in, and this is a DC out. So this one is 12 volt and this is 8 volt. So DC in 12 volt, DC out 8 volt. So I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's pretty. Let me just put a battery in. Do I have a battery next to me? Let's just see. Let's just power it on for the purpose of powering a monitor on. What I am curious about is my L bracket that I have for this particular monitor, and let me just show you the size difference. At least you can see it's a little, obviously a bit bigger. Feels super nice though in comparison to this, especially. I'm wondering if this, almost dropped it. I'm wondering if this bracket would mount on the side, because it still has the same sort of mounting points. And if it doesn't fit, Andycine, as I showed in my other videos with these monitors, they sell a thing for, this is actually a little too small. It might work, but it's kind of hitting this, but I'm gonna screw it in all the way just to see. If you made this bracket a little bigger, it would actually work. It's actually a little too small, but it would be nice if they made something like this for this monitor. But what they did is Andycine has their own thing. It's like a video toolkit. It's very small. It's around $30, and it comes with a thing that you can mount in here that you can swivel this side like all the way around, which works really well. It's the same concept as this, except you don't need a big bracket, and it comes with general tools that you may need in the field that are generally required for like Allen keys and little screwdriver stuff like that. So I think that works really well. Now let me put this in here. Sorry this isn't more interesting, and me just turning it on should be enough. If you have any questions, let me know. And it's an easy release. You just push a button and undo it. The very first one, man, you used to pinch your fingers on there. The touchscreen one that I'm using here, you don't really have that problem. Turns on right away. I can tell it's bright just from this. Usually you have shortcuts here, F1 to 4. If you've never used an Andycine monitor, hit the menu button, and there's arrows, and they go left to right and up and down. They allow you to scroll through everything like this, and then to select by over here. It has a lot of the same features. I don't see anything for loading 3D LUTs or anything like that, like the touchscreen monitor does. And but either way, this monitor feels quality. It feels very robust, and they've always been very good at their price point, value for the dollar. I think it's on point. This is really nice. If you don't need a larger screen or a more robust screen and want to save a little bit of money, go ahead, and I would recommend this other Andycine that I showed you. I'll put links in the description below, and if you have any questions, let me know. There's not really much to show here, like I said, but it is definitely a brighter screen. They even put on their ultra bright. If you're already familiar with the other Andycine monitors, just imagine that with a little bit of heft to it, a larger screen, and pretty much the same set of features. And if you get the more expensive version that has the SDI connections, it's probably, you can see where the cutouts are right here. More than likely the SDI connections will be here and here. And if you have a broadcast style camera, that is a must. I love SDI connections way more than HDMI, much more secure. And this is great, but if you don't need it, like most cameras nowadays that are more consumer friendly, professional hybrid type cameras, they're doing HDMI at this point. So with that being said, I'll talk to you later. Please hit like, comment, and subscribe. And I guess that's it. And until next time, see you later.